Hello.
There's Kathy and Judy.
Oh,
Kathy, I see the ceiling.
really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I forgot I had a sticker over my camera. There we go.
I didn't know what that was. A ceiling. Anyway. Oh, funny. How are you guys?
Gosh. Good.
Good. How are
Haven't
you?
seen you forever, Kathy.
I know. You'd think we lived in the opposite ends of the
What?
world.
You would think so, right? I'm going to let
Yeah.
Pam in too. Awesome. I
I'm
know.
here. Just been busy.
Yes. Yes. You know, the summer is like disappearing
Oh,
or
gosh. I
disappeared.
know. And
Yeah.
this month, too.
I know.
I've
It's
had
busy.
my sister in town for a week
Oh.
ago, and now her and her husband are coming and staying with us for 5 days. So it's just been, yeah.
You should have a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, really. I know. I've
Then
been busy in the kitchen getting ready today.
right. I'll come over.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
I'll pour some wine.
Yeah, right. For
Yeah,
sure. For sure.
go. And we're all going to join. We're all going to show up at the same time and have a girls' night.
There we go. Yes. Kathy's a good hostess.
Oh,
How's Pam?
Good. How are you? Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I
I'm
can
great.
hear
I'm
all of
great.
you. All good. So this topic came up today, actually. I was going to do something else, but I was talking to another girl or lady in the group named Corey. She's been, let's see, she just got off her 28-day power foods and she lost inches, but she didn't see the scale move for the first time since she started. And I'm like,
Oh.
so yeah, it's tough for her to be on. I think it's picking up stepson from football or something, but she'll listen to the replay. But it's a good one. We'll talk.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it's super important, and it could be weight loss your goal, or just a well-being. It could be mental health that you're trying to fix. It could be all of that. And it just doesn't happen overnight, no matter what you're trying to do, right? If we could just all have what we want tomorrow, it would be so much easier.
If I could have metabolism from my 20s, I'd be happy.
Right. So, and for all of you, it takes bravery. It takes a lot of commitment to yourself, to develop, whatever it is, develop healthier eating habits, or just better or different ways of exercising. And if you focus just on, and we'll talk about, like, if you focus just on your weight, it's going to be really hard to stay motivated, and you're going to get depressed and not feel good about yourself. And we're all there sometimes, or been there. And yeah. So I want to talk about how to celebrate the non-scale victories, because they're important, because we need our spirits lifted, especially when it comes to maybe not seeing that scale go in the direction we want. And when we identify those, and you guys all of you have experienced the non-scale victories, and they're wonderful. And we'll talk a little bit about what that is beyond that scale. So when you focus only on the scale, it can cause a lot of things. You guys can probably identify. It can cause eating disorders. And there are some women in this group that have had that in the past, right? So whether it's bulimia or anorexia or anything like that. Dan, you might want to get this. This might be, sorry, my phone is ringing. This might be him. It causes disappointment with yourself, and then it affects your health, right? And you throw the towel in, and then you start to emotionally eat, and you're pissed off at the scale, all of that, right? So it can cause anxiety and depression. So when you're focused just on that, low self-esteem, crappy body image, you think that you're fat and you're ugly, and you you can't do it, right? You get that can't word in your vocabulary, and all of that. And so that's, I don't want you guys going down that road. And if we talk about it, and we talk about it not frequently, but on occasion, I think that will be helpful. You know, you want to change your weight. There's nothing wrong with wanting that scale to go down. For some people, it needs to go up though, because we want to put on body weight, especially when you lose a lot of weight, or body fat, I should say. You want the scale to go up in certain areas, but the body fat still go down and the inches to still go down. So there's that fine line of what that looks like. So, but focusing on that number, like it must get, and I'm right with you guys. I'm not any different. My goal, and I know Pam can attest this, my goal is always 125. Well, I'm not 125. I'm 133, you know, so, but I still in my head go, well, I would really like to see that 125 for whatever reason. Right. So, it's just something that's in our head. So, you don't want to be disappointed. You don't want to be anxious, depressed. You then something too that happens is you lose sight of really where you want to go. Like you lose sight of that body composition that you want. So if you want to be lean and you want to see muscle definition, the scale is going to go up in some areas. The inches are going to go down. Sometimes they plateau in certain areas. Those areas are the hips. You can only do so much with your hips because your hip bones are right there. So you get to a certain point. Now, when you put muscle on, like the gluteus medius, that upper part, I'm touching my butt as I'm talking to you guys. But when that may grow a little bit, but you're putting muscle on there. So
I want to always have a flat butt.
Yeah, you don't want a flat butt. You want to,
No.
right. None of you guys have flat butts. It's good.
I have one.
So, and one thing too, is it is absolutely normal that your weight fluctuates sometimes 5 pounds in one day. Depends on what you're eating, what you're drinking, you know, all of that, your activity level, what time of the day it is, you know, what you had the night before. And if you weigh so much, if you weigh yourself in the morning and you weigh at night just because you want to see if it changed, it just is going to stress the crap out of you. So that's why we weigh every week. And even that sometimes can bother people. But to get somebody to stop weighing themselves every day, especially if it messes here. Now, weighing yourself every day, I weigh myself every day. I like to see what foods do to me. I'm really weird because I kind of know, like if I have wine, I'm going to be up. If I have something super salty, I'm going to be up. But then if I don't have anything to drink and I stay the course and I don't eat salty, I know that the scale is going to really reflect what I'm doing to myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
What I've got going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in the car on the weekend. Spent a lot of time in the car this weekend. So
yeah.
it's harder to get my steps in, and it was more difficult to not necessarily eat, but I just wasn't as active riding in the car.
Right. So, you're not going to get your steps in that you normally do.
You doing that to me.
It's all of that.
Yeah.
I haven't been necessarily getting my steps in every day, but I've been working so hard around the house.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm moving.
That's good.
It's just not showing on my Fitbit.
Right. Yeah. And then sometimes when you're on your Fitbit, it'll pick up your arm movements. Like it's probably clicking away like crazy and I'm standing here. So yeah, it's not the most accurate. Even a pedometer can be kind of interesting too. So there are a lot of factors that affect the number on the scale. Time of day, we talked about that, whether you've gone to the bathroom or not. So if you eat late at night, that happened to me last night, ate later, got on the scale this morning, hadn't gone to the bathroom. I knew it was going to be up. Fluid retention, drinking alcohol, sodium, recent travel, especially airline travel. Airlines, you put
chicken in the oven.
You retain water, and that's the same with sitting in a car. You're going to retain water because you're not moving. So if you recently exercised. So if you really, really worked hard, like on legs, glutes, back, all that, and you weigh yourself the next day, even though you're on target with everything, it may be up because you have more water in your muscle, you're more swollen. That happens to me all the time. I don't think any of us, we get our periods anymore.
No.
Yeah, thank God, right? Yeah, hormone fluctuations too will make that happen too.
Yeah.
Medications can cause some inflammation and some weight gain too. If you've been sick recently, even colds, but just feeling under the weather, that can cause problems. So what are those non-scale victories? They go unnoticed unless we point them out. So the bathroom scale or whatever scale you're using is just a snapshot of your weight at a given moment of time, whether it's the morning, afternoon. So you really create a truer picture of your progress by those non-scale victories, not just the one number on the scale, right? So non-scale victories, you guys can give me what yours have been, but I think they probably fall in line with what I have here. Your clothes fit better than they used to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It could be shirts, pants, shorts, dresses, or even just how you look in it. Like you're like, "Ooh, look at, I've got, some biceps. Yeah. Or I've got this." And like, I didn't have that before. Right. So you can tell you've lost inches and body fat and fluid by how your clothes fit. And that's what gives women especially, and guys too, that self-confidence and feeling good when you wear something that you haven't been able to wear in a while. And this is a study that I read. It says here that roughly 77% of women and 36% of men wanted to lose weight so they look better and feel more comfortable in their clothes, because appearance is powerful, because it reflects on how you feel about yourself. So true, right? Does that make sense? I mean, you guys have all had that happen.
Absolutely.
I just heard from Pat, Patricia. She's been on our call in the past. She's just getting back from vacation, but she said she was trying on her winter clothes. She lives in Florida. I'm not sure what winter clothes she has. She said that stuff's been falling off of her, and she said it just feels really good. Yeah. And one of her non-scale victories is she was on vacation with some friends and they went kayaking, and she said it was like the strongest she's felt doing that. So that's a non-scale victory. So, and that kind of leads me into number 2. You can do more things that you love. Like for her, the kayaking, right? Because your physical activity, it's not all about lifting weights and being stronger in the gym, but it might be taking a hike and climbing, a hill easier than you could in the past, or even not short of breath going up and down the steps, playing with your kids or your grandkids because they're exhausting and just not being, so tired, or working in the garden or going out and dancing with your friends or any of that stuff. What kinds of things have physically, besides working out, what kinds of things have you guys noticed?
Easier to
see, for sure.
Yeah.
To do different things.
Yeah. What did you say, Jody?
It's holding up my Harley because my legs are stronger.
Right. That's a good thing. We don't want you tipping over on that.
Arms, upper body strength, and your legs, because they all work in conjunction to keep it upright. So that's easier. The feeling of just feeling lighter. You and I had talked about that. Whereas feeling, it's like you just know.
Right. You have a little more spring in your step. You feel lighter. It's kind of but that's just the way it feels. It's just kind of a weird. Yeah.
Well,
but Kathy too, like
jogging or running, certainly makes a difference, having stronger legs.
Right. What about working around your house? I know that
today I had so much energy. I was just crazy busy, and so
it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So we all have, like those physical activities that were maybe a little bit more difficult, but now are a little bit easier and stuff too. So,
well, since your last Zoom or about journaling and stuff, I've been really journaling and writing things down, and so I get a not just a mental picture, but an actual picture of what I've all been doing during the day, because you're running around and it's like I really did a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And you've been traveling and people have been coming to your house and your grandkids and all that too. So it's, or even just playing with your pets, like with the dog. I don't, he's very busy, very active, and go for walks, and my husband's training him to be a duck hunter, and so it's taking him out and doing those kinds of things. And then the third thing is you have more energy, right? Because you're eating better foods.
Yes.
Increasing your physical activity, your what's the word? Your cardiorespiratory system, so that whole endurance is improved, which gives you more energy. And that's when you have more energy, you're more able to adopt that healthier lifestyle and more active lifestyle. I'm sorry.
When I would walk in the morning,
okay.
To jog. I'm an 30-year smoker that I never jog, and I'm just finding that my legs just want to go faster.
Sure.
So So you want to call it intermittent or high intensity, whatever, it's just switching it up. I'll jog for a bit and then I'll slow down and walk. I'm fairly slowing down. It's still at a fast pace, but then a little while later, I'll jog a little bit farther. Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed that I never could have done that before. I smoked for 30 years and quit years ago.
Right. So your lungs are healing too, because you're eating all the good stuff too. And that's cool. It is cool. Yeah. Awesome. So now you can even do lunges from mailbox to mailbox.
Yes.
It looks really weird, but who cares?
Well, they look kind of weird because I'm walking at 6 o'clock in the morning, so we'll go by.
Energy is huge, and it's not like some days I don't have energy, but I'm like, well, what if I didn't have a healthy lifestyle? Can you imagine how I'd feel? Because sometimes you just overdo it, and then you are a little bit more. Your sleep is improved. So you're active, you're eating better, you're sleeping a little bit better at night, hopefully for most of you. Sometimes that takes a little while. There's another study that I read that found that people who successfully lost around 15 pounds improve the quality of their sleep, because, when you lose fat, it comes from all over your body. So that's like around your neck. And losing that belly fat can have a real positive impact on your sleep too. Yeah. And in turn, getting enough sleep will help you get rid of the belly fat too. So it's kind of a dual purpose. And we've talked a lot about sleep, but let's see. And you've probably noticed too that since you first started working out up until this time, that you're able to lift heavier, do more reps, maybe do more sets, longer, maybe add stuff on. I know all of you have asked me to add things on, whether it's biceps or triceps or just different exercises, because you could do more some days. Mm-hmm. That's all really good, because those are like, you talk about like those healthy or fitness milestones, if you will. So maybe you only were able to do 5 push-ups when you first started, but now you can do more. So it's all of that too, right? Your weights are getting heavier. You're using a barbell a little bit more, or you're using heavier dumbbells or kettlebells, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Does that make sense too? So think about those non-scale victories. So what about your mind? Is your mind sharper too? Do you feel like your memory's a little bit better? Because when you change your diet or exercise more, your thinking skills are improving, because also when you're moving and exercising or walking up and down the steps or doing some mulch or whatever, it's that brain, mind, body connection that you're using too. that helps with memory and just cognitive ability and just being a little bit more together.
Not so, say, I think my memory is better.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
And I have to write everything down. You know, I can remember some things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And when I think about when I started the whole menopause stuff and how I'd be just like, you know, I just felt like aloof almost like, so that really helps a lot. And so better memory, better increased attention span, you're able to process things a little bit easier and your brain just functions better. So it's the hydration too, because a lot of us too, before we were on our fitness journeys, we drank water. We thought we drank enough, but now we're really kind of keeping track and it really helps a lot, but the brain for sure. And another non-scale victory, your skin looks better, right? So fruits and vegetables and water help your skin. Sometimes just eliminating dairy products. Now, some of you may have added some of that back in, and if you've noticed skin changes, you may need to back off a little bit on that, but getting rid of like white bread and sugar and all of that's going to help reduce acne. Even though, you know, acne, I remember my mom saying, oh, you're only going to have pimples at such and such age. Well, no, I still get them, but it's not as much. Hormone fluctuations do occur too, which can cause that, but imagine not having a healthy diet, you know, and not eating, you know, or healthy diet and not drinking that water and things like that too. So here's a real good one. Non-scale victory we talked in the beginning about is losing inches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So chest includes your back. Sometimes your arms will lose that, right? And then it'll start to build up because you're building both areas. Yeah. Great. So, and then, you know, your waist, your hips, upper abs versus lower belly button, hips, thighs, all of that. So let's just talk a little bit about that. So when you're measuring your arms, typically you're going to drop for a while and then it's going to go up. The inches will go up. And I don't want to say inches, but maybe half an inch. It's not going to go like a man would. But those will drop and then come back up because you're working this underneath stuff that none of us want. And when you look at your chest, yes, our breasts are made up of mostly fat. So that does go down. And I know we worry about that, but know that it's that back area too, that back, we call it the back fat, that's going to go away. So it's the whole part. Yeah. So that will stabilize. When you're looking at your abs, and that's the one that's just going to be kind of this up and down, at your belly button, above your belly button, those will continue to go down. When you go below the belly button, hip area, that will stabilize and then that'll get bigger, but it'll drop first and then get a little bit bigger, not like huge, but just, you know, maybe half an inch to an inch. I know. And everybody's a little bit different in that. Lower belly fat is like right below the belly button too, is the hardest part to get rid of. First of all, gravity. Second thing is your postmenopausal, so the fat cells like to move in that area. And then if you've had any C-sections or any type of surgeries in that area, that's very, very difficult. And sometimes you just need some surgical intervention, you know, after a certain period of time, because it just, you know, that subcutaneous skin doesn't go away. The underneath will, but not that little part there. Thighs too, that'll go down for quite a while and then that'll stabilize and maybe get a little bit bigger too. And so as women, we are afraid of wearing, like our pants get loose and then they maybe get a little more snug, but that's healthy. It doesn't mean you have fat, it's muscle. And so some women don't like that. So we just have to be, you know, it's just a part of putting muscle on. Then what we do then is we just go maybe higher reps as far as your repetitions and lower weight, keep them nice and strong, maintain that muscle, but not get as big. And some women tend to put muscle on real easy in the lower part because that's where we're the strongest. So now everybody's a little bit different just depending on how your body is shaped and stuff. But for the most part, that's pretty typical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, my thigh muscles are increasing in size. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, and that's why we watch the inches. Nobody likes to do that, especially weekly, but it really helps me understand what's going on with you and where you're at too. So too, keep an eye on your waist to hip ratio. So your waist should be getting a little smaller than your hips. Now, some women are built like real straight and there's not, that still should come in a little bit. Most of us have those curves. And so I look for that ratio too. And those changes, that's just your body composition changing with the food intake, with the exercising and all of that kind of stuff. And so when you think about when you started day one and now where you're at now, look at your pictures. And I know all of you, because you can see the difference, and nobody likes their pictures. I don't care who you are. But you can definitely see that all three of you that are on right now are, Jennifer's trying to pop on here. There we go. Our experience, have experience looking at before pictures and then looking, and experience like where you're at now. So, yes. And so another non-scale victory, your coping mechanisms tend to get healthier too. A lot of us can be stressed by illness and stuff happening at work or family stuff, maybe some trauma. And so some of us, when that stuff happens, we eat a lot more.
Yep.
And some of us eat not at all, right? So when you know kind of where you fall, whether you eat more or you don't eat at all, you are more aware of that. And so your coping mechanisms around those kinds of things will improve. And you're like, you don't want to use food to cope with stress by overeating, and doing the whole emotional eating and ice cream and all that kind of stuff. But if you're one of those, like I'm the one that does not eat when I'm stressed. I'm not even hungry, but I force myself to, because I know that when I'm stressed, my immune system, and yours does too, goes down. And then that's where I'm going to get sick if I don't eat and take care of myself. That'll happen if you overeat and are an emotional stress eater too, because usually you're not choosing the good foods to overeat. You're choosing the sugar and all that stuff that's going to cause inflammation. And then first of all, you're going to feel really bad, right? Because you're just going to be bloated and stuff. And your immune system is bad. And then too, because you've got all this inflammation and stuff going on. So, so if you just are more aware as you're going through this process of where you're at, if you're that emotional eater or if you're the emotional, like, I'm not going to eat. So it's usually like 50-50.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I usually get stressed.
You what?
Don't.
Oh.
When I get.
Yeah. You kind of break up, so I don't always hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. No worries.
I have a tendency to I lose my appetite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I get stressed.
And that's not good either, because then you're going to hang on to belly fat and all that kind of thing, especially if it goes on for a long period of time. Now, if that happens, you have some trauma in your life and you're not eating for a day or two. I mean, that's kind of, or you're overeating for that day or two. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just know that that's happening to your body. And as soon as you can, get back on track again. It's going to make you ultimately feel better and be able to cope better and then not get sick yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be in a position to take care of anybody else, especially if they are sick. So, let's see. Another non-scale victory, losing weight causes less pain in your joints. So you're going to be in less pain, right? Your knees aren't going to bother you as much, your feet, your joints in your body, because you've lost some weight, some body fat, which is less stress on your joints. So I don't know if some of you have experienced that.
Yeah.
Less joint pain. That is one of those things. And when that happens, that is like woohoo, now I'm going to keep exercising. I'm not going to stop because I don't want those knees to, yeah. I'm working with someone too who's in the group. She's has to have a knee replacement, and she has to lose some weight in order to have the knee replacement. She's lost 30 pounds already.
Nice.
So she's doing great with that. Yeah. So she knows that she'll be able to have that knee replaced, continue on her journey, and she's already experiencing less discomfort though.
Good.
Because she's lost that weight. So that's exciting stuff. So could be back that makes you feel, that's a little less painful. But mainly it's hips, knees, feet sometimes too, because there's not that added pressure on there. So
I got to back out. My daughter keeps trying to.
Okay, no worries. All right, Jody, thanks. Yeah.
Bye.
All right. And I have another one, your mood. We kind of talked a little bit about that. I've been reading a lot of studies, and this one was back in 2015, but 82% of participants who've been feeling depressed reported a positive change in the severity of their depression after losing 5% or more of their body weight. That makes sense, right? But their mood continued that way even 2 years or so after their weight loss. So if you maintain that, which you guys will maintain that, your mood is improved. Obviously you feel better about yourself. You're able to kind of hit things head on and deal with them because, well, you feel better about yourself. And, when that happens, you just can handle things a little bit easier. Sometimes, my mood, I'm not always happy. Like I'm crabby too. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy and handle things really well. My oldest son has COVID. And he's actually doing really well. He's a pretty healthy guy anyway. But that kind of stressed me out a little bit because he has 4 kids. I think he's got the baby too. And so I'm like, oh, I hope the kids don't get it, hope the kids don't get it. But trying to help him stay positive because he's bored to death. He feels actually like he's got a cold. So he's handling that really well, but he's bored and he just wants to help with the kids and he can't. And so, but anyway, I think if I wasn't feeling good about myself and in the position that I'm in, I'd probably be really, really anxious for him and maybe not deal with it that well. So, another non-scale victory would be, maybe you're off your blood pressure medication, you're off your cholesterol medication, your blood sugars are stabilized, all of that kind of stuff. Some of your medical history things have gotten better. Your BMI is better. So those are some great non-scale victories when you can get off any medications.
Just had a bone density test done.
Oh, yeah.
And it was normal, and I
Good.
think too. And I don't take a calcium supplement.
Oh, wow.
So I know, doing really good.
Good for you. Yeah, it's the non-weight, it's the weightlifting that's helping you, and that's amazing because we know bone density for women goes down as we get older, but if we do those weight-bearing exercises and stay active, it can get even better and be perfect. So I know some ladies too who do Forever Fit. They've had their bone densities and it's improved. So you think about all those non-scale victories, you have to look at that stuff because if you weren't doing what you're doing, you wouldn't have you don't want to have osteoporosis and be prone to fractures. Every time you fall and hit your knee or you do something, you don't want to worry about that, So good for you, Kathy. That's really cool. I love that. Let's see. And that way, when you go to the doctor, they're going to be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And you're going to get praise and stuff from them too, which is really wonderful. Another non-scale victory is all your social support that you're getting. You're meeting friends. You're in the group. I get a chance to meet you. Like you guys can all talk to each other. You can see each other. You can talk in the group. It's like a support group of its own, which I love, absolutely love. And like some of you maybe work out with other people, or you go for walks with other people, you know, that kind of stuff. So you've gained support, or you work with me, like you've met me and I've met you, and you gain that friendship and that support and somebody that's going to hold you accountable. And everybody that's in these groups, the Mind Body Beautiful and our Elite Ladies group, we're all supportive of each other. We're not here to bash each other. We're here to support and carry you through maybe a difficult time, or just give you a that a girl, because I mean, that's important. And it pushes you then to reach your health goals and get you to where you want to go, because you want to share those victories too. And also some of the hardships too, because it's not always easy. So yeah, you've met new friends. And another thing is, you save money. Your wallet doesn't miss the drive-through. So you're not driving through. If you're one of those that used to do the drive-through or order in all the time, or go out to eat a lot, that kind of thing, you can save money that way by buying your foods. I know foods have gone up, with, you know, the stuff in the world and things like that, but it's still a lot healthier and cheaper to eat at home, because you can get a whole lot of meals out of, you know, like I'll do turkey burgers tonight, and I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 pounds of turkey, and I can feed 2 teenage boys and my husband and I, and sometimes we'll have a leftover, you know, so much cheaper than going out for burgers somewhere else, where you're then enticed by having something other than what you really want there for. So you save money that way too. So meal prep is where it's at, right? There was one other thing. I think that might be it. So anyway, bottom line, losing weight is is a goal for you guys, you know, and I don't want to just focus on weight. It's really fat loss is what we're trying to do. And it's that scale that, you know, we focus on, and we shouldn't always focus on that. Yes, we can look at that as just one number, but it's not your only way to measure your success. So you need to notice and celebrate those non-scale victories, and you all have had them. You're going to stay motivated long-term, because you're going to continue to have those non-scale victories. Okay. Energy level, all of that I mean, to me, that's like so key, because once you have that energy level, you're just going to be able to exercise and eat well and all those kinds of things. Let's see. So don't obsess over the scale. And some of the things that the reason why I have you do progress pictures, take measurements, you know, you're putting different clothes on, you're trying things on, is because I want you to appreciate those non-scale victories, because they're so important. I mean, how cool is it to go put on something, even if maybe it wasn't a focus, but you go like, oh, let me see what this looks like. And you're like, huh, oh my gosh, when did that happen? How cool is that? Right. I think that's the best one. And so hopefully this has helped a little bit to try and get that focus off that scale. I know I have to think about that too. Like I said, Pam, 125 for me would be, but honestly, think about where you started, where you're at. It's not maybe that number, but look at your before pictures and your after pictures. And I know you and I are going to talk tomorrow and talk about your next goals.
Right.
I've got a bunch for you. We'll have to pick a couple. And we all need to have those goals, because it's going to keep us focused, you know, through the next part of our journey, where we want to go and who we want to be. And it might not be body fat percentage or this or that. It might be, hey, I want to, you know, I don't know, do 5 pull-ups or something like that. You know, those are important too, to become stronger and mentally too. So non-scale victories.
Yes.
Right? Eating is key, of course. You guys are all of you are doing really well with that. That's like the biggest hurdle, honestly. And 80-20% though. Don't like live under a rock. You gotta have fun and enjoy your life too. But so hopefully this was helpful. It was just perfect timing for this. And let me know if you have any questions or anything. I'm here. Was that helpful?
Yes.
Did
Very.
it help motivate? And okay, good, good. All right, guys. I am recording this. I'll put this in the group. And if you have any comments, you can always put those below the video too. So, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your night, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.